First Watch now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your Sheriff's Office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
So yesterday was a sad day for our nation.
It truly was. It truly was. I was getting ready to go to work. I was watching the morning news, and I saw that there was an explosion. Nobody knew the consequences of that explosion, what really happened. And I learned last night, when I got home, what happened. I was watching the news. I didn't get home till about 7:30 last night, 8 o'clock, and we all need to take a moment and reflect. We lost 13 servicemen yesterday, serving our country and with honor. I think there was like a dozen to half a dozen injured that are out there that are as a result of this evil act, and to all our veterans that have served overseas in Afghanistan for the last 20 years, those that paid the ultimate price, those that came back injured, and it's just a sad day in this country right now, and I think we all need to reflect in our military, and I always put public safety in there, are priorities for community, and so my prayers for those family members and all our people that have served and currently served in our armed forces.
1 week from today is Cochise County football, and you're going to be calling the games.
Yes. Next Friday, in fact, a week from today, we'll be in Tombstone. 6:30 will be our pregame, and then 7 o'clock's kickoff. And they'll be hosting the Chandler Prep High School. And I don't know much about Chandler Prep. We're going to do some work on that this week and a little history on them. But I believe it's Tombstone's first game of the season when it comes to home. I know 2A's kicking off their season tonight. But our radio kickoff starts next Friday. So we're really excited about that, getting back out there, getting back on the airways, and I'm broadcasting our student athletes. They're out there doing a amazing job on our football fields and representing our high school as well.
And who do you have calling the games with you this year?
Jared Young. He's a coach. He's coached with Buena for many, many years. He's one of the freshman coaches this year. He's worked all the way up to the varsity level, and he's been around football. So Jared and I will be calling the games. Corey, who played at Buena, played college football. My son will be out there with us filling in, and then we'll have some others joining us. I know our pregame here at Buena, which is going to be the following week on September 10th, where they're hosting Cienega. I've asked Wendy Grindy, which is Kevin Caroline's daughter, to come on in. She's going to bring some people because this will be the first time we've called where they've officially named the booth, Steve Kurtz and Kevin Caroline booth. So we're excited for that, too, to get them out there and kind of talk about what they did for this community and what for the schools when it comes to calling those football games.
And remember, this year it's going to be in a different location on the radio. It's going to be on 100.9 FM. That's K101 every Friday night for the next 10 weeks, starting next week.
Yeah, we're going to do 10 games. We're doing 6 Buena games and 4 games from like Bisbee, Wilcox. And we try to get those games where they're playing each other so we can knock out 2 local schools. And so we're doing Benson, Wilcox, Bisbee, and Tombstone. And also we're doing in the mix of that is St. David and the Valley Union. Those are 8-man football. If you haven't heard one of those games or seen one of those games, they're going to play. Valley Union's going to St. David High School, so we're going to run over there and do that game.
And so in keeping with all of that busyness coming up, you also have been busy. Saturday night you were at the Miss Sierra Vista pageant?
Yeah, we did our rehearsal Friday night with Miss Arizona. I was so excited. She, I hadn't met Amber. Just a rock star. She's so talented, and good things for her in the future. So she showed up, and we walked up, and she's my height. Last year, Miss Arizona 2 years ago, was very, very tall. So I was very excited. And then the night of the event, Saturday, when we had Miss Sierra Vista, Miss Teen's like 6'1" with her high heels, and even Miss Arizona put her high heels on, which are like 6 inches. I was this little bitty guy in the middle of these two beautiful ladies. And so it was unique, but we had a very good time, And I thought Mary Hyder and her team from Miss Sierra Vista did a great job of putting that together, and it was well attended. It was very well attended, and the community came out and supported these ladies and young girls, and we had a good time.
And ultimately, Miss Sierra Vista, Jennifer Westbrook, and Miss Sierra Vista Teen, Kaylin Gooch, were successful in their bids to win those titles.
They were, and they both did a really, really good job. Jennifer was former Miss Cochise, former Miss Sierra Vista, so she's been around these competitions for quite some time. and then the Miss Teen. So congratulations to both of them. We need to get them on the show. Actually, I've told both of them last year we didn't get to do it because of COVID, but they come down and spend a day at the sheriff's office with us all. So I'm looking forward to my visit with both of them. And but we need to give a shout out too for Ashley, and also Kylie, which is Miss Service Teen. They're now alumni. They both gave up their crowns last weekend, and they did very well. I feel bad for them because of COVID. They didn't get a chance to do a lot of the community events, but I did do a couple with them, and they did really, really well serving this community in Cochise County.
And the event kind of carried over a little bit into the earlier part of this week with Miss Arizona doing ride-alongs with you.
She did. She came out Monday. Miss Arizona came out Monday, and she'll be competing in December for Miss America. NBC will be broadcasting that. She'll be on the national stage, and so we haven't won Miss America since 1965. So I think this is our breakthrough year. I think Amber can do it, and she's got the personality and the confidence and character and charisma. I think she's going to wow them, and they're in. I think it's in Connecticut. They're going to Connecticut to have the Miss America. But, yeah, we spent the day with her. We took her around, and thanks to Melanie over at the Chamber and JD at Cochise College, their president, and the nursing staff over at Cochise College, and Chief Thrasher and his team, and my team, and the fire departments. In fact, she got to see Paul Sabino, who I know is going to be on the show today as he gets ready to retire, and he's going to talk to his community about that and the years of service he's put forward. But Chief Jones asked if we could bring Miss Arizona over and spend some time with him, kind of just thank him. And so we went over and did that. We were all over the place. I'll just say we were all over the place and had a great day. In fact, she jumped on the radio station. Grady, thank you for getting her on here and spent a few minutes. And we went to one of the convenience stores because you all know me. And somebody walked up, I just heard you on the radio, Miss Arizona. So obviously people listen to radio. And so it was really good. And, again, I wish Amber well. And then we finished up on Tuesday. She spoke to a bunch of schools here in the community. And kids, I mean, she's like a little princess. I mean, she's got the crown on. She just fits the role so well. Well, we went to Tombstone, and we went to the Shootout the OK Corral. So she got to see that, and so that's how she finished her trip here in Tombstone. So you can go to her Facebook. You can see all the things we did for those 2 days. But, again, she was really happy to be here in Cochise County, and she's representing Arizona very well. And I asked her, I said, have you met Governor Ducey yet? And she said, no. I said, you both represent Arizona. You got to meet the governor. So I hooked her up with that. So she'll be meeting the governor here real soon.
Well, let's talk about the awards ceremony for the SAT team.
They had their annual awards. It was kind of a 2-year catch-up because we didn't do it, like I said, last year because of COVID when the world shut down. Well, it was a very well-attended event. I want to thank Jackie Clay, our school superintendent, Ann English from the board, and also Rich Karwoski, our county administrator. They all showed up in support of this, but it's our time to recognize our volunteers from Sheriff's Assist Team. There's about 40 of them, and they spent, just this year alone, the first 6 months, they've spent 4,000 hours out there serving the community in so many different capacities, from school safety to veteran escorts, you name it, from 24 neighborhood watches. I mean, they're out there doing so much. And so we had the opportunity to recognize them, and we had some pretty good recipients of those awards, Carol.
Yeah, you had Mike Dominy, who was a Volunteer of the Year, and Dan Long was a Volunteer of the Year. And then there were also awards given out for appreciation and the great things that people are doing to Commander John Black, his Deputy Commander Steve Ziegler, our chaplain for the Sheriff's Assist Team, Dan Minhares, and you also had Jim Benke.
Jim Benke. He's the only founding member still there from 2001 when Sheriff Deaver put this together.
Oh, wow.
So Jim's we gave him Sergeant Stripes a couple of years ago. I mean, Jim's a retired colonel from the military and just an extensive and impressive career with the military. But, yeah, he's just an awesome guy. He really is. So we used to always call him Sergeant. He used to always ask, when do I get my stripes? So 2 years ago we honored him with some Sergeant Stripes. But Jim's just a good guy.
And Linda Jones.
Who came in. Linda and Steve Ziegler and John Black and a handful of them came in right after we put this together, but Jim's our only founding member still with us today.
There's going to be a job fair today at the mall at Sierra Vista. We want to make sure everybody comes because it's first responders.
Yes, it is. It's a public safety job fair, and your community celebrities, Carol and Grady, both will be there. I mean, come see Grady and Carol. I mean, you hear them every Friday morning, and Grady, we've heard you for years. How many years? 28 years, 20?
30
30 years.
30 years.
It's amazing. You look 29 minimum. So, but come out and see Carol and Grady, and if you like the show, come out and talk to them. Tell them what you like about the show. If you don't like me, don't say anything to them about that. We'll just call that a given. But come out and see our celebrities, Grady and Carol.
There's going to be 13 agencies that have signed up for this. So, we have a multitude. It is really, really good. So if you're looking for a career, looking for something to do with your life, give it a try. Come talk to all of the different people that are going to be there. They have Border Patrol. They have Sierra Vista PD. They have fire departments. They have even Sonoyta Elgin Fire Department wanted to jump into this. So make sure that you just come out and take a look at the different opportunities that are out there for you, because it's truly, I know that this might sound cliche, but it's not just a job, it's a career. So take a look at it, see if it's something you'd like to do, and it'd be good to go.
Well, it is. It's a profession. It truly is. I mean, and it's not just about those wearing the badge. There's jobs out there for CCOM. Our regional communication will be out there. Come out and see them. I know they're hiring. Come out and, excuse me, our support staff that supports all our law enforcement. Like you said, firefighters, EMS, paramedics, all the different programs are going to be represented out there today. But if you're thinking about public safety, and I don't let the national media paint what public safety is all about on the law enforcement side. There's some amazing law enforcement going on in this country. I'll stand by that until the day I take the badge off and beyond. So come on out there. It's a great place to serve. It's a great opportunity and a career.
And there's going to be members of our cable group, which is our community group that was put together kind of like a liaison, a community liaison. So you have community members that are working with all local, state, and federal law enforcement in Cochise County, just to kind of be embedded in that and get a lot of different information out there. So retired Judge Conalog is the chairperson for that group, and a lot of good people. Every single one of them are amazing.
What's cable stand for? Now, they renamed it. We had something totally, it was Community Action Bridge, or
between law enforcement.
Law enforcement, yes. So that was the name they threw out there, and I put Carol on the spot there. She's like looking at me, and but they named themselves. That's what we had a different name for them. They didn't like our name, so they changed it. But Judge Conlog and all those that are serving on that work alongside public safety, thank you for what you do on that.
And they do a really good job so far. I mean, they're finding their own way. At the last meeting, they elected officially. Judge Conlog is the chairperson, and so he's excited to get this whole thing started. And meeting just once a month, trying to talk about what's going on in law enforcement, and basically carrying that message, and I guess fighting any rumors or misconceptions that are out there, and being an extension of all public safety, being able to correct any inaccuracies or even to bring some information back to the group. How come you guys are doing this, and help us understand. So I think it's going to be just a great partnership once we finally get some solid foundation going on it.
And a little clarification, this group, which is a voluntary group that is works directly with all the police chiefs, the county attorney, the constable, and my office. I mean, they're an outreach into the community. We work for the community. Every one of those organizations works directly for the community. So having that representation to share some time with and share issues or challenges that we're facing and get their input is so vital to our success.
And it goes two ways. So from the community, we hear from them as well.
Very much so. And having that depth of experience from educators, from judicial, from ministerial, you name it, it's out there. And so I'm very impressed with them, and they're getting some independence as they move forward. And Judge Conlog, I mean, obviously he's a built-in leader. He's going to take them into the future.
Well, let's talk about the border. You have any updates for us this week?
Well, I will just say this. There was an article aired last night, I think it aired this morning from KVOA NBC out of Tucson this morning, a reference to the monsoons and what's happening on the border. As we know, that the border, the barrier and the infrastructure, the technology was not completed as a result of the executive order, and so it sits the way it does. It never got finished, that construction. So with the monsoon being a very wet monsoon, it's caused great havoc on our border down there. The bridges, they had a bridge under construction, for example, that's completely washed out and mudded up. They can't go from one end to another anymore. The road's in such bad shape. It's really a sad scenario. There's not a lot of maintenance going on down there right now, and so with the heavy flow, which has not stopped, in fact, if anything, it's got worse. it's a real challenge. It truly is, and so it's a concern. I'm just going to put this out there. It's a very concern. What's going on is on the heels of 9/11. What's going on overseas in Afghanistan, who attacked this country 20 years ago, and now our border issue, which with the border, the condition it's in, with the overstressed resources by the federal government. I'm talking about Border Patrol. I mean, they're exhausted. I talk to those folks. They do an amazing job. Our agents, I applaud them. I worry we're in a bad situation right now. We really got to rethink where we're at if we're going to secure this country, and that starts with our borders.
And so that kind of segues into your stop of the week.
Well, it does. It truly does. And one thing we're seeing, and this is not getting better. I mean, you look at, before I talk about the stop of the week, week, every day we're dealing with something on the border. It's the way it is. We had a call this week where Border Patrol got in a pursuit up in the Whetstone area. They ran from them on foot. They actually went into the community. It's alleged that one of the illegals broke the front door and did a home invasion into the home. The homeowner barricaded herself into the bathroom, called 911, called the sheriff's office. My major crimes team's still working on that case. We have them in custody, so we're just trying to put all that together. But to charge that individual for a home invasion. And then we had one where Border Patrol went to stop. Their disrupt unit went to stop. Smuggling unit. It ended up being a crash. The suspect rammed the federal government's vehicle, and then we got involved, ended up getting them down south of our sheriff's office in Bisbee and took them into custody. So it's very active from pursuits. I mean, it's hard to check on or check off without checking off last night. And once again, they're chasing vehicles. They're running through neighborhoods. And so I'm very concerned about this. As you can hear me say this, and hoping you feel the passion in my voice when I say this, is we got to do a better job. But you can go up and down the highway and see them loading up along the highway. And that's where my stop of the week came from, where heading down the road on 92, heading to a budget meeting at 9, and I look over and see two vehicles pull off the road. And we all know what that means now. It's no longer the motorist assist that we used to see. Not that they don't happen, but in most cases they're trying to find the people they're loading up. Well, I did a U-turn. The one car saw me, took off. The other one, as I come up behind it, actually pulls back on the highway and then pulls off again right away. And so as I'm pulling up to hit my lights and calling it out with dispatch, I see three heads pop out of the grass, and they jump into the car on the passenger side. And so I hit the lights, walked up, and the driver's actually in his hand, didn't even see me. In his hand is his phone, a map of where he's at. I looked right at it, and then they're talking to him in Spanish. And so he looked over and saw me, and what's wrong? I said, you know what's wrong. And he goes, look at these people. They just jumped in my car. Okay, yeah. I said, listen, you can keep talking, because every time you say something, you're just insulting my intelligence. Stop. So long story short is he had no driver's license. He's out of the Phoenix areas, which is a common theme here. They get $1,000 per head to drive them from Cochise County to Maricopa County. So it's very lucrative. And like I told this individual, you are now part of the cartel smuggling ring. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Once you start smuggling, you become part of the cartel. And if you look up and down the highway, my team was just telling me, my border team was telling me yesterday, what they do is once they get to the highway, right before they get picked up, they take all their camouflage off, and they just leave it there. They litter our highways. Wait till they mow. You're going to see a lot of this. But up and down there right now is just full of camouflage. And that's what these people did, too. They took all their camouflage off, and they just leave it there, and they jump right in. They still had their booties on when they jumped in the car. But it's crazy. Now, if once they hit the highway and you hit the lights, 9 times out of 10, they just hit up to 100 miles an hour and take off. Which becomes a huge community risk for us, huge. And we alert our partners, law enforcement partners ahead, like Huachuca City Service to PD, DPS. If we can get them stopped again, we'll try. But overall, we try to slow them down so they don't kill somebody out there. It's a real delicate situation when it comes to community risk.
And this week you have a bonus stop of the week.
I do. I was heading to our SAT luncheon, and Commander Tom Alina and I were heading over there. We just left our Bisbee office, and I see this homemade motorcycle, a little 3-wheeler. And the guy's driving, no shirt on. It's like right at 11:30, and all of a sudden I see cars sliding all over the place and skidding. And out of the middle of all this collision comes this 3-wheeler. He squirts right out of the middle. And I'm like, wow, how'd this guy survive this, first of all? So I get caught up to the guy because he keeps taking off. He's not staying around. He takes off. I get in behind him. I stop him and pulls off the road and gets out the bike like I'm not there. Listen, I'm here. These lights mean you have to stop for me. But so I'm talking to him, and I'm like, listen. And he's like, why are you stopping me? Listen, you almost got killed back there. And he's like, yeah, I almost did. Yes, you're right. Well, you took off, number one. But number two, I said, you don't have no registration, no insurance. Yeah, I need to do that too. You have a license? No, I don't have that. Anything? No, I don't have anything. Let me just ask you. You wanted? I don't think so. Well, when somebody says, I don't think so, I can ask you, Grady and Carol, are you guys wanted? And I guarantee you're going to say, absolutely not. I'm not wanted.
Not wanted.
But when somebody says, I don't think so, well, your officer safety goes up a little bit. And so we checked him, and their deputy showed up to help me. And yeah, he was a fugitive from justice. He had a warrant for his arrest, and so we took him into custody and booked him to our jail, and we towed his homemade motorcycle. But yeah, it's and truly on this case, he was one of the ones. I don't remember exactly what the warrant for, but he was charged during COVID, and we were booking a lot of people in our jail and said, "Hey, go to court." Well, he took advantage of the health pandemic and did not go to court. And thought, okay, that'll just go away. Warrants don't go away, folks. That's my safety message. If you got a warrant or you haven't paid your payment to the court or haven't showed up for an appearance on a charge, there will be a warrant, and we will book you in jail. There's no COVID relief for that. There is no health pandemic that's going to protect you on that. So, again, go to the court, take care of it's my safety message, take care of those charges. And if you owe a payment, I tell people all the time, go to the court. They're very reasonable. They'll work out a payment plan, whether it's $5, $10, whatever you can afford. But once you stop paying, that warrant's going to kick up, and you're going to end up going to jail. And then your life turns upside down, and, it takes time away from us. I mean, just go work with the courts, and you won't have that problem.
If you're not sure if you have a warrant, how can you find out?
Well, most people know if they've been charged and got a ticket. It always amazes me. Why is my license suspended? Listen, you're the best author for that answer. Truly, if you got a ticket. And if you got so many, I would suggest you go to motor vehicle and actually ask them to run your license check. And they can tell you what courts that you have a failure to appear. Because if you fail to appear, the court notifies motor vehicle and they suspend your driver's license. And then you got a double whammy on you that. And I tell people all the time too is, even though you pay your court sanction, you got to go back to motor vehicle and pay a reinstatement fee. And people forget to do that, and they think, okay, I paid the court. Hey, here's my paperwork. Well, if you haven't paid your reinstatement fee, you're still suspended or canceled or revoked by motor vehicle. Revocation is a little bit different, but you gotta make it good with motor vehicle. If not, that's a big headache for you. That's a big headache.
Your car gets towed.
Your car gets towed.
Mandatory $350 fine.
Yes.
And 30 days of impound.
30 days, and you got to pay it daily in pound. I mean, we're really strict in this state. I mean, your legislative folks, which I'm not disagreeing with, actually made it very strict. What they're saying is, listen, if you don't have a license, you've been suspended for crimes such as DUI, your hit and runs, your serious offenses. They don't want you on our roadways, and that's the bottom line. There is no excuse for that, but people get mad. Well, I can't believe you're towing my car. That is a mandatory tow. By law, we don't have any discretion. That's a shall law, I call it. We shall tow your car, and people get really upset about that. And I tell them, listen, they don't want you on our roadways. You're not safe. So pay your punishment, pay your sanctions, and move forward from there. So again, that's my safety message. But go to your courts, go to motor vehicle. There's a thing that people say, and I want to share this too. When we stopped in, the plates are expired. I had 2 expired plates this week, and I wrote tickets on that. People say, I didn't know. And they say, motor vehicle didn't send me the notice. That is not a defense of law. It is your responsibility to make sure your registration is up to par. It is your responsibility to make sure your driver's license is valid. And the state, people move, whatever happened, but it is your responsibility. You can't go to the court and say, I didn't know, Judge. You can say whatever you want to the judge. I'm not saying that. But it's not going to matter because it's not a defense of the law for that.
So take a walk around your car when you get out today and make sure your tab is on there and it's current.
Yes, very much so. And like I told this individual the other day that had the illegals jump in his car, I didn't know. But in his car, he had, he's like an Uber driver. He was there to take care of his passengers. He had a little thing for water. He had all set up. And I told him, I said, listen, we know what you're doing. And finally he said, Yeah. I said, just stop lying. Just stop lying. It's over. You got caught. Okay. And then 10 minutes later, what's going on? What did I do? So it's like they're just trained to play the game. And so, again, I always say, honestly, if you're caught, you're caught. Address it, deal with it, and make it right.
And just one final thing, and I was telling you earlier, everybody who has a birthday in August, happy birthday. Because sometimes those dates get confused. So happy birthday, all August birthdays.
Well, I think, and I missed one from my office yesterday. We just talked about this week. We're gonna start doing monthly birthdays at the sheriff's office, and we're gonna go back to our 10-year awards. So those that have been 5, 10, 15, all the way up, we're gonna start recognizing those. But I want to give a shout out to Commander Kenny Bradshaw from Carol and I and Grady here. His birthday was yesterday, and it was like 6 o'clock in the evening. I was still at the office. I had another meeting, and he goes, hey, I got to go. I said, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to dinner. I go, oh, good. Have a good time. He's like, well, it's my birthday. And I go, oh, I felt bad. I'm like, I would at least buy him a Hostess product with, a cupcake or something for him. But happy birthday, Kenny. I know he listens to the show. And I want to give another shout out to a listener. She told me, I'm going to listen to your show. First time. And that's Brianna. Brianna, thanks for listening to us this morning.
And I just let everybody knows I was outvoted to sing "Happy Birthday" to Kenny Bradshaw. So
you were outvoted?
Yeah, you guys said no. So
you know what's ironic though? Speaking of your performances and your talents, I don't sing as your talent, Grady, but I will say this to you, Miss Arizona. We were talking, and she made a comment about I remember here one of the last times I was in Sierra Vista, this guy did a Michael Jackson dance for Miss Sierra Vista, and I said, you know who that is? That's Grady Butler. That's our own Grady Butler here at the radio station. Because we just talked about that, too. And I know you did that in the past. And she goes, who's he? I go, that's where we're going to go to the radio show. So, again, I know you weren't here. You're at training this week. But she mentioned she hasn't forgot your Michael Jackson dance.
You can still find that on YouTube, by the way, for everybody who wants to go look for it.
We're going to blow that up today. It's going to go viral today again, Grady.
It's out there, yeah. Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, Carol. Thanks, Grady. And everybody have a safe week. And hopefully you come out and see us at the public safety event today at 10 o'clock at the mall.
And who do we have coming in next, Carol?
We have Sierra Vista Animal Control. Tammy Gould is going to talk to you about Sierra Vista animals.
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. If you're driving to work right now, please be careful out there. Sierra Vista Animal Care and Control, Tammy Gould. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for letting me come out and hang out with you guys for a few minutes. We're super excited to be here and kind of let people know what's going on at the shelter. Right now we are running our dog days this summer. So adoption special, $50, people, $50. That includes the spay or neuter, microchip, rabies. Wow. Rabies shot, fecal exam, vet exam, 1 year city license. It's crazy. We are full at the shelter. We have tons of different breeds. We have bulldogs. We have shepherds. We have border collies. We have what you need. Come see us. We have lots of animals that are ready for their new homes.
And this kind of happens a lot typically in the summer where you guys start to get a lot of animals. But now you're full.
I think I checked the board this morning before I left, and I think we have like 2 or 3 empty kennels, and that includes our kennels, like our holding kennels in the back. So we are full. We're asking our community, if you're looking for your new best friend, come look at our shelter. If you have time and you want to foster, come foster a dog for a couple weeks. Give us a little space, maybe get to know this dog so we can find the perfect home for it.
And so that's a really good way to, integrate people and pets and give everybody, a feel-good time. So if you foster, how many foster families do you have right now? Do you know? Just
not off the top of my head. We have a lot of kittens and cats in foster right now. We do have puppies in foster right now. So I wish Cora was here because I bet Cora would have the answer. But right now I don't have a number off the top of my head. But our fosters are basically what carry our shelter. We couldn't do it without our community, and we couldn't do it without people coming in and saying, hey, what do you need? What can we help you with? So fosters are great. We do have a foster to adopt program. So if you're interested in adopting a dog and you're kind of on the fence, it's a kind of free 30-day trial period. Or if you're looking, hey, I got, the summer off, I'm looking to help out an animal, but I don't want to make that commitment, come in, pick out a dog, let's send it home with you for a couple weeks, get to know that dog, let us know how it does in a home environment, because we don't know that, and you can help us kind of figure out what's going to be the best fit for that animal.
And what is your 4P program?
So it's Puppy Parvo Prevention Program, and that we're giving away free Parvo shots to the puppies in the community under 9 months old. All you have to do is come in and say, hey, I'm here for the 4P program. You have to commit to the 3 shots because they're saying that puppies aren't vaccinated or considered fully vaccinated until they've had their set of 3 shots. Parvo is bad this year. It's out there. Talk to your vet, ask vets. We've been talking to our vets, and they're seeing a huge increase in Parvo this year, and you can prevent that by getting your puppies vaccinated, and it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. All you have to do is come to the shelter and say, hey, I'm here for the 4P program. We'll give you your puppy shots. We'll give you some information on Parvo. So take advantage of these programs because they can actually help you in the future. Paying for care for Parvo puppies is outrageous. Like it's expensive, and it takes a toll on you emotionally as well.
Right. And so that's one of the things that's really important, right up there with the rabies shots. Make sure you get your pets vaccinated.
Absolutely. Rabies shot that's actually required by Arizona state law. So that's not even an option. You have to get your animals rabies shots, and that's super important. Just for your safety, your pet safety, dogs go outside, do their business. If they run into a rabid skunk, fox, raccoon, that's a huge safety risk. So, and there's tons of different vaccination clinics. Rabies vaccination has to be given by a licensed veterinarian, but there's tons of different clinics in town that you just walk in, you get the rabies shot, you walk out, you don't have to pay an exam fee. It's not crazy expensive, but that's absolutely important.
And you're raising funds consistently for the shelter and doing different things for the shelter. So one of the things that I thought was impressive a couple years ago, and I didn't know, and I don't know how many people in the community know, the city of Sierra Vista stopped doing the recycling program,
right.
But you guys take cans.
We do. So we take aluminum cans. Sometimes you'll see, we were just talking earlier about the mountain of cans outside of our shelter, which we actually took care of, but we're looking for a new mountain. So let's create a new mountain, people. Come out, donate your cans. We take them to a recycling center, and we do get funds for that. That helps pay for lots of different shelter activities, spay-neuter stuff, and injured sick stray, little things that we might need for the shelter or staff or equipment. We also say you could take the pop tops off, and we've recycled them separately. So yeah, come, let's build a mountain, people.
And you have a rummage sale, too.
We do. So September 11th, we're going to have Rambo's rummage sale. For those of you who know, Rambo's our shelter dog, so we like to do fun things that center around him. He is getting older and hasn't been feeling very well recently, so come on in and say hi to him. But September 11th, we'll be having a rummage sale. We'll have lots of different stuff, mostly animal stuff, and then all the proceeds will go to benefit the Friends of the SV shelter.
And are you looking for some donations for that rummage sale still?
Right now, we have tons from before, so we kind of don't want to overwhelm ourselves. So we're just going to take what we have right now, and then maybe in the future, depending on, if this grows bigger and bigger. But right now, we have enough right now, and we're just going to go with that.
So if anybody wants to reach you for all of the stuff that we just talked about, whether it's delivering cans or adopting a dog or fostering or volunteering, how can they reach you guys?
So stop by the shelter. We are open to the public noon to 5, Tuesday through Saturday, or give us a call, 520-458-4151.
And you are still looking for volunteers?
Absolutely. Come in and help dog walkers. Our dog walkers are amazing people. They show up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and get every dog out, and they're always looking for a little relief and help. So yeah, come down, fill out an application, and we'll show you around to walk some animals or cuddle some cats. If you're not a dog person, you can be a cat person. We do have a bunny too, so if you want to cuddle a bunny, stop by, cuddle a bunny.
And give us that contact information one more time.
We're at 6799 East Highway 90, telephone number 520-458-4151.
And that's Tammy from Sierra Vista Animal Care and Control. Thanks for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks, guys.
And who do we have coming in next, Carol?
We have the legendary Paul Cimino from Sierra Vista Fire.
First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. So we have iconic Fire Marshal Paul Cimino. I know, right? Okay, well, we'll work on that word.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on for you.
Well, I'm at the end of my career. I'm sad to say for myself. I've completed my 40th year in fire and medical, all with Sierra Vista, starting with the Sierra Vista Fire Department, and now known as Sierra Vista Fire and Medical. It's bittersweet. What's nice about today is I'm looking over the counter at Grady, and I remember a 15-year-old sitting up on the counter at a radio station, picking his nose and waiting for his turn. And we've been together ever since.
We have, yeah.
At least several times a year, we'd get together and we have special projects that we work on. Seasonal messaging, our Christmas drive, of course. That's, if you want to use the word iconic, that is certainly one of them. So yeah, my days are short. Next week, August 31st is my last day. I've had many activities this last month. Certainly the last 5 years with succession planning. With bringing people on board, finding out who will take my place when I leave, because the work will continue to go on, and there's a lot of it to go on. So,
well, let's talk about let's take a big step back and talk about how Sierra Vista has changed over your career when you started.
Well, I remember you when you texted me that, I said 40 years back. Well, I will tell you, when I first started as a volunteer in 1979. My place on the truck was on the tailboard. Very little thought about life and safety for our people back then, when you think about today's standards. But that's where you got. You held onto the tailboard and you made it to a call. And obviously there were fewer calls than we have presently. But it was a unique time. Even back then, the mentorship that I received was enormous. One of the chiefs that I grew up with, I had lunch with many of the chiefs that have retired and the other firefighters and whatnot. They said, "You're the last one from the 80s." And I said, "Yeah," because we have a photo on the wall, and I'm the last one. And he said, "When you came to us, you were the youngest firefighter we had. Now when you're leaving, you're the oldest." And I appreciate that. So, yeah, there's changing in technology. Change in thought processes, health and safety for our folks. It's incredible and somewhat scary in some parts, because you never know what you're up against. If you ask me what kind of emergency calls you go on, because we have a reactive and a proactive side to our work. From a reactive side, I'm not sure where our limits are. We get calls for lift assists. We get calls for folks that need help with their medication. These are true, and if you think about it, really, they call the fire department for that? Yes, because we don't know. If you're calling us on your worst day. So you don't sit there and go, "We don't do that." That's one of the hardest words that in our vocabulary is no. We don't do that. And so it's interesting how that has evolved. And when I speak to people, they go, "I never realized that's what you do." So we need to continue our education with the public, letting them know what we do. Fire and medical is real, and anybody entering our business, and it is a business, we don't look at as the people that we run on calls as taxpayers. They're our customers. Our customers demand the best attention and care that we can give them, and we strive for that every day. And it's a very difficult task to do at times, especially currently with COVID and whatnot. And I know that's getting kicked around a lot, but it's still, and it's real, and it's still here. So we have tremendous obstacles, but we meet them and we move on.
And so you're saying that you started young, and look at the entire time you spent here. We're having public safety hiring fair today, and you guys are going to have, a booth there. So that's something for people to listen to and to know that it truly is a path forward in your life. And so you're living proof right here, as well as a number of other people. But my gosh, you've stuck it out and ridden that ride for 40 years. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Well, I appreciate that, and I look at some of the changes that we've had and when you asked when we started, we actually created not just the fire side of our business, but a medical side. So we have I hesitate to say the word division, because there's no division in our forces, but you have the fire and a medical division, and these folks are just run nothing but an ambulance. They are medical professionals. They help augment our calls not only in the city but on Fort Huachuca. We have 2 ambulances on Fort Huachuca servicing the fort, and that's what they do. That's their primary job, is to support our medical.
So you probably have some great stories from throughout your career. Share some moments with us.
Well, I mentioned how we would go on a call, and the best thing we can do is bring the best outcome we can do it. Some of the memorable calls is probably childbirth, and you're going to go, what? And because it is, you see, at times you see people at their worst, you see bad things, and it's amazing to me on some of the calls what great lengths people go to hurt themselves, or and there's accidents and there's people who intentionally hurt. So when you have that opportunity to bring life into this world and see that, it's truly a remarkable thing to be. I've had the pleasure of having attend 12 childbirths. Now you notice I said childbirths. We don't deliver babies. Mothers deliver babies. We assist in childbirth. I learned that very early in my career, and it's a heartwarming. It's emotional. I even get emotional thinking about some of the things that we've done, and what a wonderful outcome. So you look for those, because many times you have to deal with death or somebody who's severely injured, and you have those temporary disabilities becoming more permanent in their lives, and you have to kind of learn to get a tougher shell. And that tougher shell doesn't mean you keep it in. You just have to learn that we have our limits, and then sometimes you need a debriefing. Right now, for the last couple of months, I've been under a psychiatric debriefing. It's nothing that's going on in my head. I felt that was necessary for me upon exiting 40 years of service. What's hidden back there that I'm not aware of, and it's going to sneak up on me. So we are lucky. We have a benefit through the state where we have a psychiatrist that we are allowed to speak with, and he does, the one I have does nothing but public safety. His whole practice is public safety, and there's no shame in that. And I recommend it to anybody. If before you leave your service, this service, any service, and you feel like you have something that might be hidden, get an evaluation. It's wonderful. I've learned some things about myself that it's going to make me a better person as I retire out.
And so what are your plans for the big picture here?
Oh, Carol.
I know. Do you have a list?
I've driven on autopilot for many years, and my plan is not to have a plan right out of the gate. And it's you're going to wake up, take each day. I'm a lucky man to my wife and my kids.
Mm-hmm. They're all great, I tell you.
And I got 8 grandchildren.
Oh my gosh!
And most of them are in sports, so that will keep me busy. And they're all here, so I don't have to travel. Although travel plans are part of it later on, we got to get this world in somewhat of a check, with the traveling. And before right now, I'm gonna stay right here in good old USA, in Arizona, and next year hopefully my family and I will do the theme parks. I promised them with some of my retirement funding, I'm going to go ahead and take my whole family and my grandkids to Disneyland and Universal and SeaWorld. We're going to do that whole trip thing, and then it's going to be for me and my wife, Deb. So
if you grow hair between now and then, you will definitely lose it afterwards.
Yeah, we should have probably started with that. What's changed? I've lost hair and gained pounds. Isn't that? But that's just the way it is. And if that's the worst that happens to me, I'm still again a lucky man. So, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that one of the biggest changes we've had in this few years was our CCOM.
Sure.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding? Regional dispatch. That's been looked at for how many years, Carol? More than
20.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have dedicated professionals behind the mic dispatching fire and medical, not just here in Sierra Vista and the surrounding community, all through the county, and we're doing emergency medical dispatching and all that. I mean, I'm lucky just to see that. I envy what's coming down the road because there's so many good things happening. Our Station 4 is going to be breaking ground real soon, so that will help augment some of the calls that we're having a little trouble getting to quicker than we know we need to be. And so there's so many interesting projects going on that I'm going to keep tabs. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to poke my nose through the door and see how everything escalates and gets to that level.
And Paul Cimino, I'm speaking now as the community of Sierra Vista. We want to thank you for the service, 40 years that you've given Sierra Vista Fire. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you, Grady, and it's my pleasure. I've been blessed with a career. The city of Sierra Vista has taken care of me and my family for all these years and will continue to after my retirement, and that means the world to me, and I can't thank this community enough.
Well, Paul Cimino, we thank you for coming and talking to us today, and congratulations on your retirement and your career.
Thank you, Carol.
Congratulations.
It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.